But cool. There's a lot that I want to talk about, but I'll just kind of jump into some of the big things that happened over the last week. For my portfolio, obviously number one is UNH, right? We've all talked about this in the chat. Warren Buffett, Berkshire disclosed the position. Their average price was 312, so it looks like they started buying over the last like couple months. Not super surprising, honestly. I am surprised that they released the information today because when Warren was buying Chubb and like other companies, there was a way for him not to have to disclose it, but I guess they just, for whatever reason, didn't do that this time. And then also Michael Burry bought UNH. So interesting. I mean, Burry is kind of like a hit or miss kind of person, but like we've said, I think UNH has like a lot more to prove, right? If the probe doesn't go well, this is going to be just like a temporary run up. If it turns out that they actually are going to get like punished really heavily for the, let's call it quote unquote like fraudulent stuff they did with Medicare, this is probably not going to help. But again, my thesis has always been it's not even that that stuff is overblown. It's just that they're not really going to get like the book thrown at them. I just don't see that ever happening to the biggest insurance company. So I think there's going to be a lot of negativity, and we've probably went to peak negativity, and it should be better, like moving forward. Um, that's on UNH. Delo. I mean, I've been talking about Delo for a while. They came out with really strong earnings yesterday. Sorry, does anyone hear that noise? Yo,
Yeah.
Josh, is that you?
I do hear it whistling.
Yeah, it is me. What the heck?
Can you mute? All right. It was someone. It was a weird,
Is it
weird
doing it
noise.
now? Is it doing it now? Yeah, it's not doing it
No, you're
now.
good.
That was
Yeah, you're
weird.
good. Was it like overheating or something?
I thought it was crickets for a second, and then I was like,
Yeah.
because it's nighttime
Uh,
here, so I was like, damn, the
you like
crickets.
you like got louder, and I was like, whoa, like
Yeah,
this,
yeah,
like
I noticed that too. I
it's
was
like
like,
that noise when like in the cartoons when like something's kind of dropping. It's like, yo, Josh, look up, bro.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, Delo. I mean, I liked it a lot. I really still like the Latin American market. I've been adding to my Argentinian ARGT ETF like pretty consistently every time there's dips. I really like the Latin American market. I really like how the former one of the co-founders of Mercado Libre is now like leading this, and they hired a really senior person from Visa who ran kind of like the Europe operations to be their CFO. So it's a small company. I mean, it's still like 6 billion, it's under $6 billion in market cap, but it's kind of trying to be like PayPal mixed with like Stripe or something for a big like Latin market for the African market. So I'm really bullish on it. Their earnings came out really positive. Honestly, I'm a little disappointed that they came out so strong. I was actually hoping for like a little bit of a pullback to buy more like 12, $13. But it kind of ran from like 2 days ago it was at like 1080 and now it's at like 1540, so like a 40% increase in like 2 days. Super strong. My price target is still, I'm not thinking about selling unless something drastic changes until we're seeing like 28, 29, $30 a share. But now the risk to reward is 2x instead of like a 3x. But it could even, if it continues super strong, I mean, this could be a 30, 40, $50 billion company one day. So we could even see like a 6, 7x, 8x from here. Um, but yeah, that's really the two biggest things from my side. I bought a few more other names, mostly as like starter positions as I'm doing more research. I'll just call them out quickly. I bought Zeta, um, the Trade Desk, and FTNT, Fortinet. All three I looked at briefly. I liked for various reasons. They were all kind of like on pullbacks, major pullbacks, except for Zeta. Well, Zeta had a huge rip and then a significant pullback. So I like all of them. And I sold some legacy companies. I sold like all my MasterCard. I'm selling all my team. I sold all my T-Mobile, companies that I've held for like 5, 7, 8 years. Um, I think they're like really kind of at the peak of what we're probably going to see in the next few years. So as I'm selling things like that, I'm buying kind of like newer, smaller companies that I think have a lot more room to grow. But I'll probably do a deep dive on some or all of those in the next coming weeks. But yeah, whoever wants to jump in on that, talk about anything you're seeing, feel free.
So with the UNH,
I believe that if the big, institutional players are jumping in, I'm assuming that they have some kind of knowledge. I mean, I don't want to go as far as saying insider knowledge, but they definitely have people on the inside, and like we discussed earlier, it might be more of a slap on the wrist than than a big deal. And I mean, the price was just, I think, completely oversold as well. I mean, we're talking about what was in the low 200s from a huge
Like
drop.
230, right?
Yeah, it was down to like
Yes,
230.
and it was at 600. We're talking about like a massive drop.
We did have that day, I think it was last month or whatever, but there was an opportunity for people in the company, like employees and people working there to buy stock of UNH, and I remember it going up a little bit for a couple days because of um, that opportunity. I don't know what the stats were for those days, but I know a lot of people bought it, which is like the insiders slash employees of the company.
Mm,
So that's
that's
that I
interesting.
think that's might have been when Warren Buffett bought as well. I think it was around that 312, 320 range.
Well, do they DCA, or do they like? I mean, like how do they do it?
Yeah, I'm sure they buy
For sure,
in
yeah.
Trump.
So
Yeah, I mean, that is Q2 as well. I mean, we are in Q3, so I don't, we don't know what kind of moves they're making lately, but I mean, that's a good sign for UNH. There was another investor too, a big investor. I just heard of him today. Um, he bought a good amount as well. David Tepper, he bought 2.2 million shares of UNH as well. So
David Tepper.
Michael Burry, and Warren Buffett all bought. Bill Ackman bought a bunch of Google and Amazon. I mean, that's a no-brainer. But um,
Yeah, I mean, look at Amazon right now. It's at 230. It's Google. It's well, what's Google? I mean, I know Google was lagging for a while, but
Google's been running up the last couple days. I think it's at like 203 right now.
yeah, wow.
It just broke the 200s.
Google was so like we've been talking about this. It was just the most obvious, like
Yeah.
slowly like cooking play ever. Like, I mean, buying under 160 was a screaming buy. Under 180 was like still a solid buy. It was like it literally gave like the most opportunity to buy. It's actually kind of crazy how that played out. It was just like went from like 220 down to like one hit like one like
Well, it had
147 and
that day. It had that day where it went down, like, what was it, like 10% or 12 11%, like a
yeah,
huge crazy
I remember
crazy.
when
Yeah.
I think it was because of tariffs and like people saying Google search is gonna die, right? It's like
Well,
there's a
that, and there
lot
was
of
like
that.
that whole big problem with Gemini as well. I remember
Yeah.
that was a pretty big catalyst, where it was kind of like a big. I forgot exactly what it was, but it was like a big blunder on their part. It just, like, I feel like we were talking about in the group chat, everything is so over sensationalized, where anytime there's a miss at a company now, like, it wouldn't be insane if you saw like a 10, 15%, maybe even up to 20% reaction, which is
Yeah.
a huge thing. I mean, we're not talking about, small cap stocks. We're talking about, massive giant, we're talking about Google here and Apple, and, and like whatnot. But so
Well,
I feel.
I even thought PPI, the miss today was kind of an overreaction. Like, yeah, I get it was a miss, and everyone's afraid that inflation's up, and the Fed's not going to cut interest rates now, and it went down to 90% versus the 99% we had yesterday or 2 days ago. But I don't know. I think it was a little bit overreaction, like it was for the tariffs. Um, it is kind of scary, like for Google and Amazon, like those stocks during like the April lows. It's just so obvious of a buy that it's kind of like you kind of second guess yourself at times, and it's like, all right, is this too obvious? Like, is
yeah. The
you know
issue
what I
is
mean?
that
Like it's a
the
tough
issue
one.
with and this is what I've realized with like why it's tough sometimes to buy the dip. It's because like it doesn't start off as like a 25% dip. You know, you see like 5% dip, and the next day it's like another like 3 4%, and then it'll be like 7 or 8, and then like you don't want to be like, okay, I'll buy today, and then tomorrow it could go down another 10%. So it kind of goes back down. It goes back to like that sizing where, um, I just have to think about it more about like how to like
Size it
size it
correctly.
to the point where you're happy almost like it's dipping. Um,
Yeah.
but I guess like that's all dependent on like the amount of kind of like dry powder you have, right? Because if you have like if your position is like 50K and you have a million behind you, you're obviously you're happy that there's a dip. But if like your position is 100K and you only have like 50K behind you, it becomes a lot tougher because you can't really absorb that much more of a dip. So yeah, I
That
don't
is
know.
one
I
thing.
yeah.
That is another thing that I've been trying to improve on as well, is just positioning. Like, how much of a starter position do I want to take? How much do I have of dry powder? Do I want to DCA in this actual name? Obviously, there's a lot of pivoting and game time decisions when earnings comes out or macroeconomic news comes out, whatever it may be. But I think that's just I think that's a struggle with every investor, right? It's kind of, you got to play it the way, depending how much you have, right? Me and you are very different, how much we have and how much we want to play with on each name. Just like Adobe today, right? I started a position in Adobe, and I have room to buy more, but I don't absolutely love the name, but I see it as a value investment, and I think it would be stupid not to buy at these levels. So it's kind of just like, day by day, it's going to be different as it goes, but we'll see. That's something I am trying to improve on as well, and trying to make. I don't know if there's like a mathematical way to come up with the way to size and positions or what, but um, I don't know. Yeah, it's another thing to improve on. Justin,
Um,
One of
I
the
don't know if
things
you have insight.
different. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna pick on you. Like, yeah, I don't know if you have any insight on that or what.
Oh no, I was gonna change topics to the bullish IPO.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like that was an interesting moment. I mean, we all talked about it of like what are our moves, how do we get access to it. It obviously jumped over 100% in the first day, and it's kind of like, man, I mean, at some point are these companies going to get smarter? Like obviously these are like drastic mispricings in the market.
Sure, yeah.
If the stock should have IPO'd at 67 or 70 or whatever it is, like these are founders and executives and people losing out on, I mean, like hundreds of millions of dollars. So it just seems like a very weird place that we're at. I did open up that second account. My dollars didn't transfer in time for me to get access to it. But
Man.
part of me is like, for future IPOs, should I liquidate the entire portfolio, go in on, 5 or 6 different, I mean, I can't, I mean, we all could have made hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars. Like, it just seems crazy
Yeah.
to me.
I don't think the glitch in the matrix will last that long, and
It's
I
just a
don't know if they would have
Ponzi.
filled that many. So wait, Justin, I'm just curious. What did you actually end up doing with those shares? Did you sell all of them?
I did sell. I just felt like I had gotten them through Robinhood. I already opened up the Webull account. I opened up the SoFi account. So I'm like, I think I have other places where I'm able to go, seek out these allocations in the future. But I mean, I was looking at like a 35, 40K allocation. It's like, should I literally be putting my or requesting at least the entire portfolio? And then even if 20% of it gets filled, it's like, I mean, it's like we talk about Bitcoin, and like the growth and all this, but again, I don't know if it's going to continue. But at this point, it's like, why would we not be betting the farm each time if it feels?
I
Well,
mean,
the issue, well, yeah, the issue that I saw is like, say we're getting whatever 5, 10, 20% allocation, right? And we're hitting 2, 3x's. The one time where you bet the farm and then it ends up whiffing and you're down 50%, you get the full allocation, and then and now you've wiped away like 2 or 3 wins. That's kind of how I'm thinking about it, because like the one IPO that's like underperform, I think that's the risk, right? And obviously this is like, because Justin, you came from iBanking, right? So like you guys are pricing these IPOs in a way that's supposed to make sense, and I think this is kind of like a glitch in the matrix where like we're not going to keep seeing this because it's becoming like whenever something becomes I think like too easy and too obvious, and there's obviously a lot more people with like way more capital than us who can try to game this. I think it'll just like not work for much longer. I personally didn't even sell. I was on the phone with Josh and I was like, all right, I'm about to cash this at like 115. And then as I was setting the limit order, it like flew down to 112 and then 105. And then I was like, okay, let me set the order for 110. And then it kept going
It was
down and
hard to
down
put
until,
in. It was hard to put in
um,
because it kept halting.
yeah.
I sold,
And then,
Justin. I
yeah.
sold at 92 average or something like that. So it was like 150% gain. But I sold my Figma shares, and Robinhood actually warned me of the 60-day like pause of not getting IPO access. But I still got IPO access to Bullish. So I was like, all right, this must be fake or something. I even got access on SoFi as well. But going back to like betting the farm, yeah, I think this ends like very soon. I mean, macro, we're in a bull market, right? Everything's going up. IPOs are just shooting up. With bullish, I think it was a crypto platform as well, and crypto's been going crazy. So I think it just worked out really well. Um, I mean, we'll see with the next IPO, but yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna become too obvious. I've been seeing on Twitter like people are like, yeah, obviously I'm gonna flip this. I don't care about the warning. Like I'm making 200% in like a couple minutes. Like I'm going to sell. So I think people are gonna catch on, and I think it's gonna be too obvious, and then that's when we're gonna be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, it just even if it's up 20%, I mean, right? There's an element of sure if it's up 150%. I mean, it's so clear how much to make, but yeah, I mean, I'd be interested to go back and like pull the data. I'm sure ChatGPT could do it for me of like what are the first 2 hours of the past 500 IPOs? What percentage of them went down in those first 2 hours or the first day or whatever? And it's like, well, if you start to look and it's really a less than 10% of those IPOs, suddenly it looks like it might make more sense to be making this a priority, at least, to your guys' point, until it turns, and maybe only with certain like hotter IPOs.
I think it might be the ease of access as well. Like did
Yeah,
we have allocation on Robinhood, SoFi, and all these other? There's so many platforms now that are
totally.
giving you pre-allocation, and people are just taking advantage of this opportunity. It's like, why not? Like you can buy in before it goes live, which is like a cool thing. I think it's because it's kind of like a new thing slash like bull market slash like I like bullish too because of the ticker name. I mean, it's called
Yeah.
bullish. So
I would like the ticker name more if it didn't like read like blush to me, honestly. I think there's something to that. I think it's like negative vibes. I don't know. I just don't like every
well,
time I type
Webull
in
took bull.
BULSH and then it like pops up Webull. So then there's something to that to some extent. I speaking of earnings, also we had another earnings today, Nubank. Josh, I think you're in this one, right?
No,
That one beat earnings.
I sold a while
Oh, this
ago.
guy's always selling, bro. He sells before the
Bro,
earnings.
okay, so Nubank's a good company, but
Yeah.
they're just dead. It's dead money. It's hasn't moved. Like it's just
Okay,
um,
yeah.
you
Well,
can't
I
disagree with
have
me.
I just have a fundamental disagreement with like, oh, it's not moving up or down, time to sell. Because like the way I think about it, and this is just how my mind works. Like when I see things like going kind of sideways, I think it's only a matter of time. Like the likelihood that it starts going, more volatile increases, right? Because I don't think the volatility can last like forever in any stock, and I don't think any stock or really anything can remain like totally unvolatile. So
I
I don't know.
agree.
When I see something moving sideways, that's when I get really interested, especially if it moves sideways after like a giant correction. Um, so I don't know,
No,
but
I agree. It was moving sideways. It was attractive as a because it's like a Brazilian banking and they're a really good company, but um, I sold for a profit. I forgot when I sold, probably the beginning of this year, but I allocated that money for something else. But it's a good buy if you have extra extra cash on the sidelines. The thing is, like, I'd rather just use that money to do
Yeah.
something else. I don't know. It just depends what you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah, no, good point. I mean, it is pretty much flat, maybe like up a few percent on the year on the 1 year timeline. But
Yeah.
I like Latin America a lot. I think that's going to be like I think that's kind of the future in a lot of ways, the Latin American markets. So I just think anything that's infrastructure there, especially with finance, is for me like I really want to hold it for the next 5, 10 plus years.
Yeah, I am looking at their numbers right now because they just came out. But their revs up 30%, EPS is up 29% year over year. Customers went up 17%. So, I mean, everything's looking good. Their net income is up 31%, gross profit up .2 bill year over year, gross margin of 42%. So, I mean, those are pretty attractive numbers. Um, but I don't know what it needs. It just needs, like, it's just been sideways and, like, it hasn't been moving at all. Maybe I'm wrong soon, and I missed the whole pump. But
The thing is, it's not pumping. Like honestly, for I kind of it was taking a bigger position in Nubank or Mercado Libre, and I took a bigger position in Nubank, which now seems like a big mistake because Mercado Libre is up like 40% in the same time frame. Nubank's up like I don't know after this pop like maybe like 6, 7. Um, but yeah, cool. Um, I think Justin dropped off. I'm not sure if he's trying to get back in. Sam, you have anything you want to jump into? Josh, if anything else you wanted to talk about?
no, I on my to-do list this week is I am going to do some research on Zeta. I know the retail has been liking it. You brought it up that you started a position as well, so I've been hearing about it. I haven't looked into it really. I'm going to look in it. Their numbers look pretty good from first view, and their earnings and everything like that. And yeah, I'm going to do some research, and then next week's call I'll let you guys know what I came up with. But I know you said you're going to look into a little bit too, so maybe we can collab sometime this week
Yeah,
and talk about it.
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I
Let's
mean, for
let's both
me,
discuss.
it's basically the same as you right now because I'm really just got into Oscar, DLO, um, a few other ones, but mainly to the ones that we've been riding so far.
Oh yeah, Oscar. I've been adding every time it comes back to the mid 14s, low 14s, high 13s, like that range. So I mean, honestly, Oscar has been volatile, but at the same time, if you zoom out, it's been really sideways for the past
It's
few
been
weeks.
bouncing off like the range, so we needed to
Yeah,
like
like
kind of break through.
14. Yeah, like 14 range, and I'm just hoping that it does have a breakthrough, and I'm hoping that these UNH buys of health insurance is bullish as well for Oscar.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
so we'll see tomorrow. I'm excited to see how UNH and Oscar perform tomorrow during the market open.
Oh yeah.
Anything
It's
else?
actually insane how everyone is buying UNH right now.
Bro, yeah, it's funny
Like,
because I was on Twitter and watching a live stream at the same time. And it was like, all right, Warren Buffett bought UNH, and it ended up being UNH. And then it was like the other investor, I keep forgetting his name, bought UNH. Michael
David
Berry bought
Tepper, Michael
UNH.
Berry, yeah.
Yeah, David Tepper, and I was like,
David Tepper's a
okay.
big guy. It's like serious,
Yeah, he's
serious guy.
serious. Yeah, he's serious, and everyone's buying UNH. Even Michael
He bought
Berry bought
2.2
UNH
million
calls,
shares.
bro. He bought option calls.
Bro, it's actually yeah. David Tepper took a $500 million plus position, $600 million plus position in UNH. Like serious business.
Howard Marks, I
Um,
guess, bought. I don't know if you ever heard of Grab, but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Amit is pretty bullish on Grab, and Howard Marks now has 11.5 million shares of Grab. So maybe Grab's another company to look into. I kind of just haven't really looked into it either because that has been dead money as well. But maybe that's another opportunity that
Yo, Michael Burry is so weird. He has a big put position.
on what
Oh wait. He sold his puts.
he's buying a lot. He's just saying
Yeah.
like he's
He
bullish.
sold all of his puts.
Yeah, it seems,
I
bro.
don't know.
His
I don't know what's
buys
good
are
with
kind of like it looks like retail buys. Like it's just everything we've been talking about already.
I'm telling you, like literally running a fund is like I'm not saying there's no difference between us and Michael Burry because obviously he's like a really smart guy. I mean, I think I'm a smart guy too, but but it's like, bro, like low key, they don't do anything that's like beyond the pale of what we're doing. Like
No,
it's
they don't.
literally the same stuff. Like yeah, I own Mercado, I own UNH, I own like I added
Like
to
Bill
Lulu in
Ackman
the last
bought
2 days.
Bill Ackman bought Amazon. Like all right, like like
Yeah,
maybe
it's
I'm paying
obvious,
attention to Lowe's.
And when you're a small person, like small fund, small whatever, it's so much easier because you don't have to buy in tranches. You don't have to like hide your like disclosures. You don't have to like not let people realize all that kind of stuff. So
And you know what's
yeah, I mean
crazy?
honestly,
You know what's crazy? All these hedge funds, like they bought in Q2, but no way they bought in during the they didn't buy during the dip in April. I think they bought like after.
yeah,
Um,
they're very like let's wait and see what happens.
yeah, they're not like buying, saying this is an opportunity. They're just gonna wait and like see if
Hmm.
market conditions
Yeah.
are good.
So
Like,
Burry totally just changed his whole portfolio.
yeah, I think he
He
literally
literally
changed
was only long Estee Lauder. And now, and now he's long UNH, Regeneron, Lulu, Meta, Estee Lauder, JD, Baba, ASML, VF Corp, Lulu. Wait, I'm saying Lulu. I guess those are. I guess
Oh, can we
B.
also? I forgot about this. Can we also talk about? Um, can we also talk about how the Trump administration wants to is discussing to take a Intel position? Do we
I
want to
haven't
talk
actually
about
seen that. I haven't actually seen that.
that? Was news today. That came out after hours, but it pumped a little bit, and I don't know. I wanted to talk about it a little bit because the bull case with Intel. I mean, Intel compared to Nvidia and AMD is very, very. They're not. They don't even compare, um, because AMD and Nvidia are just so much better companies. But if we can see a little bit of an increase on Intel, especially if the Trump admin taking a position in there, um,
Hmm.
I want to see.
I mean, Intel, like the thing is, it's a very American company. It's been struggling. Like, it would be big for the Trump admin to like revitalize it.
Yeah. I mean, AMD market cap is 290 bill when Intel is 100 bill. So you're saying that AMD is only two times bigger. I mean, I don't know. I would have to look into it more
Hmm.
if they're taking a position in Intel, like just like MP, right? They took a big position in MP.
Hmm.
Was that one of the positions that ran up, or you tired right now? What's going on?
Sorry, I'm just reading something. I'm reading on Twitter like who else was buying UNH. Dodge and Cox bought that's like a big fund, a bunch of ETFs and stuff and mutual funds, mainly mutual funds. They bought 4.73 million shares of UNH. Saudi
Oh,
Public Investment.
David Einhorn. Are you familiar with him?
Yeah, yeah.
He started a new position in Victoria's Secret. I know you like Victoria's Secret.
You know I like Visco.
I know you
It's a good
like those
company.
bras.
Hey, yo, watch your mouth. We talking about the stocks. We talking about the stocks, kid. Watch your tone.
Uh, Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund also bought UNH.
Yeah, I mean, bro, it was one of the biggest companies in the world. Like,
I mean,
it goes down. Just
wasn't UNH just like obvious? Like, come on, like, I
Bro,
mean,
I literally was like a few days ago I was like, yo, it's about to be obvious, like it's so obvious. And then a few days later it's so obvious. It's like, bro, I'm telling you,
I
If
guess
we
it is
like
just obvious, right? Like it's just the thing
things
is
are
that
just obvious. If you go with the right size at the right time, you can literally be making multiple millions of dollars every
the thing is
single
I
year.
second guess myself
You know?
sometimes because like sometimes it's so obvious that you're like, okay, it's too obvious, but
Yep.
it's like sometimes it just is obvious. Like I don't know, like
Yep.
even we were talking about it today on our phone call. We're like, bro, UNH is probably the stock, right? That's too obvious? Is it too obvious?
Yeah.
But I mean, damn, I should have bought call options for UNH. That sucks.
Yeah. I had call options. They expired worthless because like
Well, I should have
timing
bought
was a
them
little
today
bit
and
off.
sold them. Bought them today and sold them tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, guys, like honestly, it's just more positive signs that at the end of the day, we're like taking this pretty seriously. We know what we're doing, and honestly, again, as we keep collaborating and sharing information,
I mean, bro, we're all
I
making
don't
money in
see
here,
how
right?
we
Like,
aren't all like outperforming the index. I think we're all outperforming the S&P and the Nasdaq.
we're all making
Um,
money in here. Like, even with like meme stocks, I called out D Nut. You made money. Justin made money. Like, Justin made like 200%. I made like a few
yeah, I
hundred
actually
percent.
didn't make any money on DNUT, bro.
That's crazy. Why?
I never sold. Well,
Why?
no, it's not that I didn't sold. I put an order in and it never filled, and then I just kind of forgot about it because it was a small position, and then it just kind of like,
Well,
it
anyways, you
was
were up like 60%, and you could have sold and made money.
up like 200%, bro.
You're up 200%. Okay, okay. Well, you could have
Yeah, that
sold.
was a user error. That was just because I went so small. I was like, let me just see what happens. It wasn't
Yeah,
like a
that was
big deal.
just me looking at Wall Street bets and realizing that there
You
was
called it, bro.
some,
You called it crazy.
yeah, there was some meme talk with that. We even talk about Amazon and like value companies. We talk about UNH, and we're all making money. We're talking about the IPO with Bullish. We all made money on that. Like, it's just, this is a really valuable group. We're all, every week, I think,
Yeah,
we just, we've been making money
100%.
like every week. So,
God willing. Thank God. Knock on wood.
yes, sir.
Everything's coming together the way it's got to be coming together. And on that note, let's keep this conversation going in the chat. Thank you all for joining. We'll catch you guys next week.
Take it easy.
Adios. Bye bye.
Bye.
Peace out, boys.